सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं sadgurun brahmavidvaram sadgurun brahmavidvaram.
Hari Om. It's my proud privilege to welcome Swamini Vimalananda on behalf of all the devotees at Chinmaya Ranjan and especially Swamini Guru Priyananda ji, whose enthusiasm, zeal, devotion to Gurudev and her untiring efforts have really given shape to Chinmaya Ranjan, which is vibrating with various programs of Chinmaya mission like study of Vedanta, study group classes, Bal Vihar, screening of Bhagwad Gita, discourses by Param Pujya Gurudev. Today, Swamini Vimalananda ji will expound and enlighten on various aspects of education and culture through her inspiring talk on manifesting divinity. Although there is much to say about Swamini Vimalananda ji, but without taking much time, I would like to tell you very briefly about her. Swamini Vimalananda is the director of Chinmaya Education Cell, governing body of 80 Chinmaya Vidyalayas. Presently, Swamini Vimalananda ji is in charge of Chinmaya Mission Coimbatore and also one of the directors of Chinmaya International Residential School. She is also director of the Chinmaya Vision Program, a holistic and value-based approach to education. Swamini was educated in Mumbai and graduated with honors from J.J. College of Architecture. She became a brilliant disciple of Pujya Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda, and soon after joined the Chinmaya Mission Brahmachari training course. She has travelled widely and has conducted many Gyan Yagnas in English, Hindi and Gujarati, as well as camps for children, youth and adults. A book, In Indian Culture, Why Do We?, co-authored by her, has become an instant bestseller. Recently, another book, Not to Lose, Not Too Tight, Just Right, has been also released. I welcome you once again, Swamini Vimalananda ji. My pranams to you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari. Agajanana Padmarkam Gajanana Maharnisham अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तम् उपास्महे सुरासुरावन्दितपादपङ्कजां करे विराजितपङ्कजां विदेश्च पत्नीकमलासनास्थितां सरस्वती नृत्यतु वाचि मे सदाम् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. Hari Om and Namaskar to everyone. And it's such a wonderful thing to come and visit this place. It's changed completely from the last time I was here. You know, it's A to Z change completely, and it's beautiful. Very, very beautiful from outside, now from inside as well. I've been seeing. Very nice. This hall is very good. Acoustics, excellent feel. Very nice. Very nice. Looking at everything. It is manifesting Gurudev's divinity. Definitely, this place. In fact, every place that I have gone to, since everyone is associated with the Chinmaya mission, right? No new, anyone who's completely new and never, no exposure to the Chinmaya mission? One person, okay, fine. So, each place I'll talk more informally. Is it okay with all of you? Yeah? So every time I used to keep going to different places, ashrams of the Chinmaya mission, I used to always feel that, my God, here I see Gurudev, and each place would tell me so many things. So I wrote a letter to Gurudev with these words, that in every ashram of yours, you manifest your glory and greatness. Chinmaya Vibhuti these are the words I use. Chinmaya Vibhuti is displayed in every ashram. So I see that here as well. His Vibhuti is really being displayed, shown very clearly. Now, all our progress in the world, outer world, is measured by what we have. What we have means name, fame, money, comforts, pleasures, wealth, whatever. So, progress in the outer world is measured by these ways. What we have. And progress within is measured by what we are. That is what we have. And this is, the inner progress is measured by what we are. Now, how do we understand what we are? So it really doesn't matter what level you say that. Now, I'm going through all this very quickly because these concepts are known. People who have study classes, etc., for Gurudev's books, these are known concepts. And then we'll go to something which is a little more deeper. See, how do we say that X entity is more evolved or progressed than the Y entity in terms of its inner growth? Outer one we have understood. There's nothing big about it. Inner one. So they say one of the measure is the awareness. Okay. A stone is considered as less progressive, less evolved than a plant. How? The stone is unaware of itself and unaware of anything around it. So we say on the ladder of progress it is what? Right at the bottom. Next level is what? Plant. Plant is aware of itself in a way because it knows itself, and it's aware of the environment around it also. And we have enough proof that plants are aware of emotions as well. Is it true or not? Enough research is done. We all know if we tend plants, we all know also that if you give water with a lot of love, they blossom better. And if you're indifferent, They don't blossom. And if you hate, then they really die. They don't even blossom or they die altogether. They did research and they found that plants kept in the company of criminals, they shrunk. The sap would not go. They shrunk. Ordinary people, they behaved ordinary. Even the plants behaved ordinary. When people were ordinary, plants are also ordinary. But in the presence of saintly people, the sap that they were giving was much more, and everything. That's why they were blossoming so well. All the yes. So the plants are aware of emotions. Also, so little more awareness. They're aware of this. You try to this plant. The plant actually shrinks in that way. So they're aware. Then of course the next is what? The animals. Much more aware. You say tiger. That was the name of the dog we had in the ashram. Tiger comes, immediately he's there, The tiger, sit down. Tiger sits down. And tiger is aware of all if any outside dog comes, then tiger says, nothing doing, this is my ashram, you get out from here. So they know what is they know this is, not my, they know, so many things like that. So many emotions. If you have two dogs, and especially if one of them is a Pomeranian, then the Pomeranian is a very jealous dog. Is it true or not? Very jealous. The other one can be an Alsatian, but the Pomeranian will rule over the Alsatian. Have you experienced that? Some of you who have say yes, otherwise they'll say what? She simply says these things. Kuch pata nahi hai, aise bolte rehti hai. But aap bolte raho, authenticate what I speak then. So, they have jealousy, they have possessiveness, they have feelings of mine, not mine, and all anger. Emotion-wise, we had a cow in the Ahmedabad ashram and oh my, it was unbelievable. This is a very interesting story. See, we had given nice name Ganga, Yamuna and all these names to the cows. But the person who was taking care of the cows, he had his own names for these cows. So he called one of the cows Sukhdi and the other Dukhdi. So we had got one of the cows was given from a devotee of Swami Narayana. And they said, I'll never sell a cow. We'll give you the cow. So one cow came to us. And the other was from a farmer, an ordinary farmer who needed money. So he gave the cow to us. We bought the cow from them. So we had these two cows. So when I would go out of town and I come back, the first thing I did was go to the Goshala and see the cows. And you can't imagine, this is the reactions of the cows. First of all, they cry, out of joy. You can actually see the tears flowing out of the eyes of that much of emotion is there in them. Okay, they cry. Now the Sukhdi, the minute she sees you, she is so happy. Then, we had a special brush, so we used to, give it. They, you should know where to, this. They feel very good. So they said, please do it here. No, this also. She literally turned around, and stop eating and this, that and all. So this. And the Dukhdi would not stop eating. She would continue. She will be happy. You could see the tears also in her eyes. Everything. But no. The Sukhdi would, my God, nakhra. If the hay is a little damp, she won't eat. Bole, Sukhi ghar ki ladki hai. And वो दुगड़ी वो गरीब घर की लड़की है, जो भी दिया वो खाती थी. You understand? Now imagine in a cow we are seeing everything like that. She was pampered. She wouldn't do this, I won't do that, I won't. Oh, all sorts of things like that. You brush me here, you do this for me, do this for me, do this for me. Imagine in the cows, okay? So that much of what? Emotional? Yes. And they can fake diseases, I'm told. Like hypochondriacs, you have human people who will say, mere ko ye ho gaya. Animals can do it. The cow could fake symptoms of pregnancy. And then they find this cow is not pregnant. Aise hi kar rahi hai. Can you imagine that? So what I'm trying to say is that as far as animals are concerned, their emotions are what? Much, much more evolved. So they know everything around. And don't we know about migrating birds from which part of where they travel to that place, and they know the route. That we go little bit and we get lost here and there. Can you imagine coming from Siberia all the way to Gujarat and not losing your way? So these are all so as far as the animals are concerned, they're aware of themselves and they are much more aware of the environment around them, the surroundings. Their awareness level is much, much greater. And then, of course, you have the human being, very, very much more evolved. And in the human beings also we have 4 types. The stone man, who is what? He's not bothered about anything. You can do what you want, where you are. He's not. Then the plant man, little bit once in a while, little, and then again back into that stupor, And how many people live a life with no thinking, no deep thinking, no. It's amazing how many people can live like that. And then you have the animal man, completely selfish and me and me and me alone. In fact, these are things that sometimes, they bother us a lot. Sometimes you feel a little pain, at the amount of selfishness that is happening in the world right now. Isn't it true? I've been telling about this because I feel sad, so I share this. Not that I'm sharing my sadness, but I'm just sharing my, feeling that, this is really, it disturbs you. When a lot of people nowadays, elder people, 40, 50, 60 years of age, and they very commonly say, अपने बच्चे के लिए, they talk about their children, बस अपना अपना कर लेना बस हो गया. Do you all say that? Many of you must be thinking like that. बस अपना कर लेना बस हो गया. हमारा करे ना करे, अपना करे तो बस हो गया. What does this mean? What does it show? It shows a very selfishness, and that's what we expect कि बस इतना करे तो. अरे वो अपने माता पिता का नहीं करेंगे तो दूसरे का क्या करेंगे? So therefore, this sort of thing is becoming now. Everyone just accepts that children will be like that. अपना ही करेंगे, किसी का और नहीं करेंगे. Very sad thing. So therefore, this sort of a, what do you call it? Me and my, for me, everything. So this is a typical what we call an animal man. And of course, then you have the man who is much more giving and, more forgiving and all of those. And then, of course, you have this greatest of great souls called what? Divine. Mahapurushas and Divya Purushas or divine beings, and they manifest much more of the divinity. So that awareness is one measure of manifesting divinity. That's what I wanted to make the point. The awareness level. Much, much, much more. Aware of spoken things, aware of unspoken things. See, it shows many times, there's 2 ways. One is called the spoken language and the other is called the body language. Many times, a lot of people say he's very intuitive. Intuitive sometimes may not be really intuitive. It may be that person is more observant, can recognize more body language. Have you understood? Yes? Shall I tell you a little bit about body language? Are you all ready? Everyone's becoming aware of their body. All of a sudden, the minute you sit like that, it shows I'm close, I'm not listening. So I never allow anyone to sit like that in my lectures. Everyone, whoever is sitting like that, please unfold your this. Thank you so much. Very good. Then if you sit like this, I'm skeptical about what you're saying. I'm listening, but I don't know. This gesture. There is a lot of things. You can understand so much about the mind. The birds can lie, but the body can't lie. It's difficult. It's impossible. Very, very. You have to really practice to be able for the body to lie. You understand? The body can't lie. The words can lie. It's much easier. It's done a lot of times. Don't we say, it's so nice to see you. And inside you may not feel nice, So many things we do in our life which is all spoken. And that is why this is a saying which I just love. What you are speaks so loudly that I can't hear what you speak. It's a very beautiful saying. It's one of my favorite sayings. What you are speaks so loudly that I can't hear what you speak. You may speak whatever you are, but what you are shows. You, in and through you, what you actually are will come out. And many times when we say, bolta hai lekin. Now how did you get this bolta hai lekin part? Through recognizing what the person actually is. You see, you just observe the gestures of Guruji, his personality. Not just what he speaks. He speaks is, of course, very, very beautiful divine words and all that. Just observe his gestures. Observe his body language. And you will understand what I mean by kindness. Through his body language. Gentleness. If you have someone like that, it's an aggressive. They may speak nice, soft words, but the body will tell you that there's nothing, gentle about that person, nice about that person. Many times, the strong personality, how does it come out? It's not just the words that they speak, it's the body language. And you and I are sensitive, and of course, women are more sensitive to body language than men, and therefore they say they're more intuitive. One of the reasons, because they are more. And the reason is Bhagwan has made it like that, no complaints about it, Bhagwan has made, because Bhagwan knew that this woman has to see a child who's not going to be able to talk. And a woman normally recognizes more than 150 facial expressions. Men can recognize not even 1/3 of it, is a fact. Research has been done. Nowadays, you have to say this word. Research says, and after that you can say anything and people believe. It's a crazy thing. The world is really crazy. But then anyway, this you can check out the researchers also in this. It's an actual fact that women recognize many more. What? Not just facial expressions, overall body language. That is why when, let's say you've gone to a party, and at the end of the party, the lady comes back as she's returning back with her husband. She tells, uska uske saath, uske husband ke saath patta hi nahi hai. तेरे को कैसे पता चला कि सब बोला? बोले नहीं, मुझे पता है, वो कुछ पता ही नहीं है. Why? You recognize what? The body. The minute you go into into a room, the woman observes so many things. उसका मुंह इतना ये था नहीं, ये उसने ऐसे नहीं किया है. This one is this one. So many things you get, and the man said, "How did you know this?" He wouldn't have seen any of it. So what I'm trying to tell you is that these are things you are talking, you are manifesting. These are all the things. What you are is being shown clearly to the world. That's all I'm trying to say. What you are is very, very important, and that is what shows how much you have manifested of the divinity. Not what you have. What you have is outside what you are. Now, I'm going to tell you about a few things which help us to manifest divinity. Okay. One of the things is, the more and more, I'm not giving all the, knowing your own true nature and all that. That is, Vedantic way. I'm just talking about very simple, ordinary things by which we can manifest our divinity. Okay. One is, and a very simple thing is, do what is your inherent aptitude, preferences, talent, duty. The more you keep doing that, the more you manifest divinity. What? Because you're manifesting more of what you are. Did you get this point? Yes? Supposing a person has his natural ability to sing. for example. Now, singing could become, because he's got a natural ability, what will happen? His mind will become more absorbed in his singing. When a person who can't really sing starts singing, his mind is not that much. This natural ability is there. So your mind is more rooted in yourself, because that's what you are. Your natural ability is there. So the more and more you go towards that, you keep doing that, you will manifest more and more what? Of your inherent divinity as well. Through that talent, through that ability, through that. So therefore, that is exactly what the Geeta also says. Sve sve karmani abhirataha samsiddhim labhate naraha. He says that. In the 18th chapter of the Bhagwad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna that in your own karma, you keep being rooted. And if you do that, you will become successful, you will manifest divinity. Okay? Sve sve karmani. Whatever is your karma. So here I mean the karma even in terms of your duties. So whatever is your duty, keep doing it. And you will manifest what? Divinity. Whatever is your natural aptitude, keep doing it. Then what will happen? You will manifest divinity. So very simple thing. It's not very difficult to... So everyone, wherever they are, in whichever way, they can manifest their divinity. You know about the story of Vyadharaj? In Mahabharata, there's a beautiful story. Maybe someone can help me with the name. I'm not getting it exactly. There was this sannyasi who was in the forest and he was meditating. And there were birds in the tree and they were making a lot of noise. So the sannyasi got mad. He looked at the birds with a lot of anger and the birds became ash and dropped. So he says, Dekho, meri siddhi. I look at a bird and what? Anyway, he goes, he feels a little sad that they've died, but then he feels happy also that he could, what? Do this. He goes into the city to get bhiksha. So he goes to the house of this lady and knocks on the door. And inside, they know that this family is a generous family and gives. So when he knocks on the door, the lady says, please wait. So he waits for 10-15 minutes and still no one comes. So he knocks again and again there's a sound. Please wait. And he waits for 15 more minutes and there's no one coming at the door and he gets angry. And he knocks again. And this lady opens the door, and when she opens the door, he's looking angry at her because half an hour he's been waiting. And that lady said, when she looked at him, he says, I am not a bird that you can make into ashes with your look. He was stumped. He says, how do you know? Because I've just done that thing and I've come here. No one knows about it. I've not declared about it. How do you know? Then he realizes this lady has something. He says, you have some powers. You have an ability which is something, And then she started talking about so many things which he was so, surprised. She said that I have learnt from my guru that if I do my work properly, I will get siddhi. And I was tending my husband who was sick and I knew this was my duty, I was doing it. And because of this duty that I am performing, I get everything. I know everything. He says, who told you this wise thing? He says, I have a guru. And please, this lady said, go to him and learn a bit. He's telling the sannyasi, you go to my guru and learn something. Learn some wisdom. So he says, okay, tell me. He says, he's in so and so place, you go there and you will find him. You ask someone for him. So he went to that city and he said, where is this person? Vyadharaj or something. Anyone knows the name? Dharma Vyaj. So Dharma Vyaj was there and he says that, and where is Dharma Vyaj? So he says, you see that man? And who is he? A butcher. And he's shocked. He's saying, I have to go. I, a sannyasi, has to go to what? A butcher is my guru? No way. So anyway, he says, now since that lady sent, and he's got this respect for that lady, he stood somewhere in the corner and observed this Dharmavyaj for about an hour or so, just as he was doing his work. He saw that nothing, he's not doing anything unusual. He's just, his clients are coming, he's this, and he gives them the whatever meat and all. But his face is calm and serene. He looks just so happy. He's saying, doing a job like this, how is he happy? So after some time, he came to him and he says, so and so lady sent me to you to learn knowledge. Immediately he said, okay, I can't give you knowledge over here. You come to my home and I will give you knowledge. He takes him home. He's wondering, I think, yahan it was bad enough, now going to a butcher's home. And then I have to, and he kept on feeling that now if he takes me home, I'll have to do namaskar, I'll have to do all that, show all that. At least here it would have been easy, Now what to do? Anyway, he goes home. There's an old mother of that Dharmavyaja. He goes there also, and then he sees that the mother and the father look so happy. The family is so happy. Everyone is just so happy in that family. And he felt so comfortable in that house. He says, how do you manage to remain so happy? You have this old mother and father. He says, I have only one thing. I do my duties. That's it. My duty is to keep my parents happy and to do my job. Saying, what is the big thing about your job? It's such a despicable job. You cut meat, you all this blood, this, that and all. What is this? He says, no. He's saying, have you noticed what I was doing? He's saying, I keep my vision, when the scales are there. So he says, I keep my vision on the scale. And I see that it is perfectly in the center. It doesn't go this way or it doesn't go that way. And when I keep watching the scale, meaning kuch cheating nahi ho raha hai. Balance ho raha hai. Thinking, the minute I do that, my mind becomes completely still, equipoised and balanced. And that is what I keep doing day and night. I keep my mind, what? He's saying, this is only a job. But through that, what am I practicing? My mind remaining what? Equipoised and balanced at all times. Kabhi yahan, kuch nahi. It remains perfectly like that. This is what I'm doing. And then, of course, he taught him a lot of Vedanta and all of that, Dharma. It goes, the big, huge chapter in the Mahabharata on this Dharma Vyaja. So, in and through your work, however, what? Despicable it may look, or nothing great about it, but it can do. Have you heard of the yogini from Kashmir? Very lovely. The stories of saints are just fascinating. Shall I tell you one more? Demand and supply. No demand, no supply. Shall I tell you? It's a very nice story. I like it. There was this, in the good old days, they used to get married when they were child marriages and all. Yeah. But they wouldn't go and stay with the husband when they were small. But then when they mature, then that's when they go. But this girl was there in her husband's home. I think when she was hardly 7 or 8 years of age, she was sent. And somehow this family in which she was married, the whole family was very harsh and cruel and unkind to this girl. The husband didn't know better. He was 8 years or 9 years of age. So he would also hit her. The mother-in-law would trouble her. And she was like an unpaid servant of the family. And they wouldn't even give her food to eat properly. And she was just tortured. Day and night, this poor thing was tortured. And in the good old days, they never went back to the mummy saying, Mummy, aisa karta hai. No mobile, nothing. You can't complain. You can't do anything, and you're just there. And she's just living this life, miserable life, And what happened is, in one of the rooms where she's working, there was a picture of Bhagwan Shiva. Now, she is too young. She doesn't even know that this is Shiv Bhagwan, okay? So she just sees this picture and there's a smile on his face and a real calm look. And somehow, and her life is so miserable, so she just what? looks there, and she says, and the minute, in our natural reaction, especially when they're children, if someone smiles immediately, what do? They also smile back. This is a typical children's reaction. So she looked at him and she smiled at him. And she felt nice that there's at least someone in the family who is smiling at me. So whenever she got chance, she would go to this room and smile at him. And every time Shivji would always be smiling and calm and quiet. Then she started feeling, here is someone who loves me. He's smiling all the time. He looks at me so nicely. And this. So whenever she got chance, she would come there and she started talking with him, and she would tell a joke to him, something, to this, and she started feeling better and better. Then she said in the night, and her mother-in-law would come and say, "Kaam nahi karti hai, this, that," and drag her out or something. Then she would get up in the night, come to this room and just look at Shiv Bhagavan, just stare at his face. And feel so happy, so nice. With that misery in her home as a background, she would just stare and that face. And slowly she started getting into what? Meditation. A visual meditation. Just doing it. Just staring at him. And it reached a stage where she would stare. The minute she would sit there, she would go into samadhi. The parents, the in-laws didn't understand. No one understood. They would beat her. They would, this. And then slowly, because, when you go into samadhi, your state is something, no one can then treat you anyhow. You've got the powers of this. Slowly and slowly, everyone started recognizing there's something in this girl who's amazing. Yogini, usko kehte the. She's from Kashmir. And Lalita Yogini or some name like that. Huh? Lalleshwari. See this. And even Tulsi Das ji went to meet her. Can you imagine her, uski status kya hui hai? This lady. And she used to go into samadhi. Just look at uski, no other sadhana. What? So whatever be, and I'm only saying is that whatever be our way, can be small, whatever talent we have, whatever job we have, whatever way we have, it doesn't matter. Any of it can take us to the, what? Supreme. Anything. And each one of us intuitively have so many things, abilities. We all have intuition. We all have a way of connecting with each other. We all have a way of connecting with God. Recently, I went through some seminar and people were doing this, and it was this very, very simple exercise, unbelievably simple exercise. 2 people sat in the seminar and they gave each other some article that they have been using for a long time. I think you may have heard of this exercise also. It's a very simple thing. The right atmosphere must be there, and just exchange of this. Any article. So we were all doing it. So I said, okay, fine, I'm part of it. Let me also. So I gave my mala and someone else gave me what they had. So 2 people were partners. Everyone was there. Go into a very relaxed state at that point of time. Everyone went into a very, very relaxed state. Just, meditative. We took them into a state of meditation. Relax your body, watch your breath, go deep within, connect yourself. And then connect yourself with the object that you have of the other person. Just hold it in your hand, nothing else. Hold it in your hand and whatever you see, whatever you feel, it doesn't matter however silly and stupid it can be, just tell the other person. I'm telling you what actually happened to me. When I was telling that lady, I told her, I don't know why, I saw cats. Now, this is ridiculous. Why cat? I didn't even want to say it. I said, what the cat? Kya hota hai? And she says, I have 4 cats. I don't know. I didn't know her name. I didn't know anything about this person. Are you understanding what I'm saying? And then I said, I saw a white cat. He says, yes, that white cat of mine died just a month back. And then she asked me, how is that cat? I told her I saw it playing happy and all. I said, thank God. I was very attached to it. You see this? Some article of that person is in my hand. Nothing to do with what? Then I said, there's a lot of violence I feel. No connection, Kuch nahi hai. There's a lot of violence which I feel. She says, yes. I had a very, very violent, lot of violence in my childhood, and through my life I have had lots of violence. Now imagine I am just holding some article. And what happens? What I'm trying to tell you is all of us have these intuitive abilities. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not that I have it, okay? Are you understanding what I'm speaking? Yes? It's not that I have it. Don't think some Vimlananda has got some siddhis. I don't. In the group, there were so many people who were talking about each other. There were some people who could make out childhood experiences. They talked about a person who had died recently. Someone talked about pigs and says there's a toy of pigs. And that lady said that I have a toy of pigs which I have kept near a swimming pool recently, and that has deep association with my father. He gave it to me and I put it over there because he loved this ocean and the sea and the waters and all that. So I kept it there so that all the time he will see the sea. I mean the swimming pool. She was not near the sea. Now, these things, now the person who is having that article is seeing a toy of 3 pigs. Are you understanding what I'm speaking? And that person had no adhyatmic background. Okay? What I'm trying to say, each one of us have many, many inherent what? Abilities. We all have. We already have. It's not that we have to have. We already have many things in us. We have a lot of divinity, spirituality, intuition, unbelievable talents, so many things in us. Unfortunately, we never what? Manifest it. That's all. Recently, we had a children's camp, Coimbatore. So it was a Shubha Sahasa adventure camp. So they are with the air and the water and the earth and everywhere. They were doing parasailing and they were kayaking and all sorts of things they were doing. So I said, okay, all of you are going to write a poem on the 5 elements and your experience with the 5 elements. You'll be surprised. Almost 65 to 70% of the students who were there had never written a poem in their life. Why? They wrote it for the first time and some of them was very, very good. I'm just trying to tell you is that we never allow all. Why do we allow? Why do we ask them to write a poem? Come on, write a poem. I've made children draw cartoons. You can't imagine the humor in them. Given a theme like, there must be, in your cartoon, there must be one ant. At least one ant must be there in the cartoon. You can't imagine the type of cartoons they have drawn. I tell children to write jokes. Shall I tell you the type of jokes they have written? You'll be surprised. The book, Not to Lose, Not to Tie, Just Right, I was taking with my CRS kids. I was actually teaching that book to them, So we did that. And at the end of the whole thing, I said, okay, all of you are going to write a joke about your understanding of the book. Whatever you've understood of the book, you have to make a joke. You have to write a joke. And I'll tell you just 2-3 jokes that came out of these kids. Completely original. Most of us only tell jokes which are, but these are original jokes. They made them there, okay? One of this was, Suresh's pants are very sattvic. This is why? Because they are not to loose, not to tight, just right. It's about the 3 gunas, Sattva guna, Rajo guna and Tamo guna. Now can you imagine? He's saying his pants are very sattvic. Why? Because they're not too loose, not too tight. Just. Yeah. The other one was very hilarious. He says, Suresh is tamasic Naresh is Rajasic, Haresh is Satvik, and Manish is plain sick. Can you imagine? Just imagine, they're all making it up right there in front of me. You know? Then there was another one which was really funny. There's 3 friends went to the bar. So he says that one of them, he says the tamasic one, you see, he became so drunk that they had to throw him out of the bar. You know, he couldn't walk and all, someone carried and threw him out. He says the Rajasic one got into a fight. And he says the Satvik one paid the bill. See, in and through all this, what you understand is A, they have understood the text. They've understood the 3 gunas. That was the whole purpose. Then there is humor added to the whole thing. There is so much of this creativity added to this. And if you never give them this chance, they never, what? Explore this aspect of their. Now, what I'm saying is that we, all of us, this is called manifesting divinity. Manifesting divinity. Of course, in the adhyatmic sense of the word, we all will say, this, go close to your own true nature. But how do I go close to my nature? Every time to say go close to your nature, these are ways, very simple, practical ways. Even for kids, we are taking them closer to their nature. Is that okay? Just take them closer to whatever they are. Whatever is their ability, whatever is their talent, whatever is their inherent potential. The more and more you keep taking them closer to that, the more and more, what are you doing? Every kala is a manifestation of his divinity, isn't it? Everything, the beautiful that comes out is all his divinity which is manifesting anyway. So therefore, I feel, because I was told to touch even on what? Education. In our education, we must be able to tap on what? These inherent potential. Unfortunately, nowadays we find that all our inherent potential is being systematically, what? Systematically, I mean the word, destroyed. Systematically we cut it out. We don't allow it to grow. Everyone has to become like everyone has to dress like everyone has to talk like everyone. I told kids to express what they felt about a recent camp. We've had lots of camps in Coimbatore these days. More than 8-10 camps were there, one after the other. And one of the camps, the valedictory function, we told them just express whatever you felt. Everyone used only 2 adjectives. What? Amazing and awesome. I said, without these 2, now describe what the camp was. Everything is what? Pizza is also amazing and Swamiji is also amazing. Everything is amazing and awesome. Amazing, awesome. Amazing. Is it true or not? Aap zara dekho. You should see how a typical teenager talks. Like kya? Bolna, aage bolna. Like, have you heard that? Ye kya ho raha hai? Everyone copies the other. Even the way you express your joy is copied. 10 years back, if you were happy, how would you express? High five koi karta tha kya? Bas, abhi high five. And you think that you're not even spontaneous and you're not natural even in the expression of joy. That also is copied. Are you understanding? Joy is something I'm happy. What you would do, you don't know. Because you're just happy. You just spontaneously do what you are happy about. But nahi. वो भी क्या है? है कि नहीं? How can I come close to what I am when all the time I'm only what? Aping everything. Even my joy I can't express the way I want to. The way I feel is someone is guiding the way I think, I feel, everything. So if we can allow, we can give this opportunity to children, to ourselves, to just what? And a lot of it comes out when A, we are with nature. B, we are with ourselves. See, when we are with divinity, whenever we are with something which is yourself, then this thing comes out. And you'll be surprised what will come out. What all intuition, whatever abilities or attitudes and aptitudes and this. There's another thing. I'm just touching on it. Recently I've been coming in contact with this, so that's why I want to express it. You know, all of us have 4 parts of our brain. We have 2 sides of the brain, the left brain and the right brain. All of you are aware of that. Yeah? In the left brain and right brain also there are 2 more parts. L1, L2. R1, R2. L1 is left. L is left and R is right. So L1, L2, R1, R2. We all have these 4. Now, I'm just going to give you a characteristic of this so you can understand what you are. And why I'm telling you this is because it makes you happy with what you are. You become comfortable. At the same time, you don't start judging others. These are 2 important things because we have to live with ourselves and we have to live with others. Isn't it true? So now I'll tell you. What is L1? L1 is a person who analyzes facts, figures, numbers, analysis, judgment, opinions. This is all called what? Which brain? L1. Then L2 is what? Details. He's a preserver, meaning seeing that everything is, right and fine and organized and worked out well and punctual and all that is what? L2. You understand? L1 is all facts. They'll tell you numbers like perfect, 23 meters you go from there, and when you take a right turn at that corner, there will be 2 more. They'll tell all numbers and facts. These are L1 types. Then R1 are the imagining, rebels, visionaries, spiritual, breaking all norms, no rules, no, no restrictions, all this, and even very, very beautiful in terms of, creativity, spontaneity. All this is what? Which brain? R1. And what is R2? R2 are people's people. R2 means people. People, relationships, socializing and empathizing and, with people, all people's skills and, that is all what? R2. Now, all of us are always dominated with one or the other, most of the time. Very few are completely, exact same, all 4, rare. And if it is there, it's the biggest problem in the world for you and everyone else. Because you can never be anything, When you try to be like that, the other says, no, you can't be like that, So, now, I will give you an example to make you realize. Supposing 4 of these are journalists. One who is an L1 journalist, one who is a L2 journalist, one is a R1 journalist and R2. Now, how will they write about, let us say there was an accident somewhere. So, how will the L1 write? The L1 will write that an ambassador car dashed against a Fiat at the crossroad of this place, Jahangir Court, whatever it is. So, ambassador car got dashed against a what? Fiat on 21st October. This is the reporting of what? Now, what do you think L2 will do? L2 will say, a Punjabi driver sitting in the ambassador car, 45 years of age, coming from the left-hand side, met or dashed against or had an accident with a white Fiat, young 18-year-old girl with pink lipstick, this dress, that thing. Details. You understood now? How will the L1 write? The same thing, the same incident is. Now, what do you think the R1 will write? R1 will say, an encounter in Jahangir Court between a young maid and an elderly man. Now, you don't know whether it is accident also. This will be the way to write. Then you start wondering what happened now. And you really are curious because it's creative. It's an encounter. Now, whether it's an encounter between the two cars or the two people, and then you got my point. This is how an R1 brain works. What do you think the R2 will write? The Punjabi who had migrated from Canada back to this country because of his feeling of patriotism. अभी देखो वो आदमी के बारे में कितना बोलेगा. Was going towards his mother-in-law house with flowers because his wife had told him to do that. अभी देखो, you understood now? This is a person's, people's person. So he'll keep talking about people, emotions, this, that, etc. And then all that will actually kya hua? Accident hua. You understand that? Now, imagine, why I'm telling you this is, find out who you are and be comfortable with who you are. How difficult it is, supposing an L1 person, predominant, is living with an R1 person. That one will keep saying numbers, and that R1 will go crazy. Are you understanding? And unfortunately, Bhagwan ऐसे करते हैं, पता नहीं क्या क्या साथ में combination रखते हैं. And that R1, L1 man will say, supposing L1 is the man and the R1 is the woman, that L1 man is saying कि ये तो उसको कुछ यही नहीं है. And I'm telling you, I've actually had this family where I was staying with, where the man was so L1, every time he went out of the house, at the gate, at his driveway at the gate, he will write down what time he left and what is that, uska jo petrol ka wo kahan hai, what time. And when he comes back, it will be written again. He came back at this time, petrol, itna ye hai, pointer hai, ye hai. And every person he met that day, his name will be there, what this, everything. And he's got diaries like that from 40 years. He's now 75 years of age. Just piles of what? Diaries and facts and figures. For what? The wife is telling me, ये सब मैं कहती हूँ कि बस्ती में बेच देंगे. He says, no, मेरी जान है ये, तो क्या करें? And then this man would be in the car when we would go Yagnyashala, na? So I was staying in their house. So 1 hour, 15 minutes before he's sitting in the car, start karke baithe hai. I will come at the right time and the wife will always come 5 minutes late. And that last 5 minutes you should see him. He's saying, I'm living with this all my life. What I'm trying to tell you is that if I know what I am, yes, my point is just that. Know what you are. And know what others are. You and everyone will be what? Much happier. Many times when they become old, they get this realization. ये तो ऐसे ही है. That's why I always say कि 60 साल के बाद में real love होता है. My theory is that. आप नहीं मानते ऐसे? कोई बोल नहीं रहा है ऐसे. Real love, because by that time they know ये कोई बदलने वाला वो ऐसे ही है, वो ऐसे ही है. Is it true or not? And then you say, it's fine, no problem, I still love him. ये ऐसे ही है, वो कोई बदलने की कोई ऐसे ही है, ऐसे ही बोलते हैं, ऐसे ही. I ignore. No, whatever he is, okay, that's the way he is. So therefore, it's important to know what? And the more you closer you go to that, the more you manifest in it. That's what I'm trying to say in this thing. the more you go closer to what it is, be what it is. And I'm talking even at the physical level or the emotional level or the intellectual level, then you're slowly and slowly contacting your inner spiritual core. Then, of course, you have to go. Finally, you have to go to your inner spiritual core. That is the ultimate. That is what we have to do, all of us. That will be called really manifesting our inner divinity. But till that time, how do we go? I'm telling you one of the ways by which you can go. Try to be what you are, truly. More and more you connect with that, more you are coming closer to your own inner spiritual core. Okay. Okay, I think my time is up. Yes? Huh? We started at what? 6 o'clock? 6:30. So at 7:30. Okay, does anyone have questions? Let's put it open. There are lots of things I can keep talking. Some of them can be, new things, or some can be heard things. Any questions, please? Anyone with any questions? Please feel free to ask. And remember, no question is ridiculous or silly. Every question is valid.
And the water type of partner, one has to be something of everything in order to be successful in his idea or in his life.
Yes. Yeah. No one is 100% L1 or 100% L2. It's not possible only. We are not. But we are dominating, and that is what we are born with. There's very little you can do to change that. An R1 person cannot become all of a sudden L1. Not possible. It's not going to be possible. You can try your best. It won't work. So learn to accept that. But no one is 100% L1, no one is 100% L2 or L3 or L4. All of us have all four, but we always are dominant, one or the other. We just need to discover what we are. There are tests also which done, but otherwise you can make out from our own this also. It's not very difficult to know. Yes?
During our formative years, do we adapt to a situation or we naturally go up to tend to be what we are?
Certain things, we can't change. Certain things we are born inherently, and certain things are influenced by the environment. So both of them play very, very important role. But certain things, our inborn and inherent thing is a very, very strong thing, which many of us don't realize. It's very strong, very strong. Do you recognize certain things which are inherent and inborn in you, all of you? Yes? And certain things are environment. That's why the family, the same set of parents and the same upbringing, and two completely different personalities in the parents are surprised कि अरे ये मेरा ही बेटा दोनों मेरे हैं लेकिन ये ऐसा है और ये is it true or not? तो वो क्या फैक्टर है? वही खाना खिलाया है, वही parents है, the circumstances weren't different, and yet you have completely. So what plays a role? So that's inherent also. It's important, and the other part also is important, but this is important. Yeah. How to be always cheerful. Live in the present. And actually speaking, don't take yourself too seriously. Actually, at the end, anytime, this thought must come to you. At the end of the day, it's only a thought. So anything is only a thought. A thought goes away. Before you know, it's over. Don't take yourself too seriously. If you don't take yourself too seriously, you won't take others seriously. If you take yourself very seriously, you'll take everyone else very seriously, and then you're in trouble. Then you can't be cheerful. Then you suffer with everyone. R1. We are born with these things. So it must be over some life somewhere. A lot of it is inherent. But we can develop skills about it. Like for example, I may be an R1 dominated person and I may have very little of organizing capacity, but I can learn it as a skill. Not as an attitude, but as a skill. And therefore we always say, take a profession which is of your inherent nature and develop the skills which will balance all the others in you. For example, if I am an R1 dominated person, which I am, even I know I am an R1 dominated person, my L1 is weak, L2 is weak, but I know that I need to organize a lot of things, so I develop a skill in L2 of organizing, which will help me to organize what I dream of or imagine through my R1. Exactly, which we do. There are modules available. NBI, which I talk about to many people, is the Neathling module, which is available, which can tell you which one is this R1, R2, L1, L2, very much. The man, Mr. Neathling, he got a Nobel Prize for this particular research that he did. Very, very interesting. Recently I've been doing it. In fact, I did it for myself, a lot of other people whom I know. We did this brain mapping. Very interesting results, very accurate. No, they do a test. They do an actual test. This man got a Nobel Prize for that. Very interesting. So that's why in our Manodharma seminar, we talked about all that. Oh, they are the best, easiest. The bigger they get, the more. First of all, for little children, they have an imagination like anything. So first of all, make them understand there is God. And you can do anything with that God, and they will believe it. That's why, you have Krishna figure right in their head at that time. And then Krishna loves you very much, and they feel, yes, there's a Krishna and he loves me, And Krishna loves everyone, and he loves people who love everyone. So we must love everyone, then Krishna will love us. So, you can put all these ideas of goodness, you can put all the ideas of, being kind and great and divine and giving and all this you can put in the child. That age, you can do anything. You put all these lovely things in their head. And for them, everything is very clear, black and white. Yeah, after that, everything is grey. It never remains black and white. You say Ravana, bad. Rama, good. You ask now, 30 or it depends. What depends? Nowadays, you should see how people talk. You can't say Ravana was bad. He also had good. Don't they talk like that? Rama also, not everything. When you ask a child, Rama, good. Ravana, bad. Do they have it depends stuff? Never. Hanumanji, good. Simple. You want them to keep their shoes in the straight line? That's what I do. Hanumanji, very small ones. You can't try it with bigger ones, but smaller ones. Hanumanji always kept his shoes in line. Everyone keeps his shoes in line. So simple. You want to get them to put their shoes in line. Hanumanji always kept his shoes in line. All of them go put their. You don't have to tell them, go put your shoes in line. Hanumanji did that. Okay, I'll do it. So simple, to get all that. And then their imagination. You do keep on doing games and things like that for just to expand their creativity. Give them things and say, don't tell them, make like that. Just give them something and make what you want. You will see amazed what they make. as they are growing, I mean, the amount of creativity that comes, all their engineering skills, all this is there in them. We do that with kids, a lot of our games in our Balvihar camps, because that's when we get to explore, no mommy, daddy around, and also we have a lot of fun. And we make them climb trees, and we make them do all sorts of things. I've done, make them jump from the first floor. They do it. And once they are very scared, initially we say, you are Prahlad. And Prahlad's father threw him from the mountain. Now mountain, this is the only Chinna mountain, small little mountain, nothing. So I said, you have to say Narayan. If you don't say Narayan, you'll break your leg. So you have to say Narayan. So Narayan, Ram, they fall. We've tested it many times. I myself have fallen many times and seen that nothing happens, Then we make them fall. And you should see, after they get that confidence of having fallen once without breaking anything, they want to do it again and again and again. We make them climb one tree and say, from this tree you have to go to the next tree. Arey Rama. Initially it's very scary. You're seeing here, they do it. So all these potentials, this bravery and this getting out of fear, all this is possible in these kids at that age. What all things you can do with them. Elders you can't do. I can't all of a sudden make you say, come on, do this, You won't do it, first of all. You will say, wait, you say, what happened to Swami? Why is she? No one does anything. Nowadays, in the name of these management seminar, they make them play like kids, And that also takes a lot of time. They don't just loosen up fast and all that. They have to do so many things and all that. Make them dance, make them sing, make them play like kids. Then something happens. But it's possible. All of us have so many beautiful, inherent, lovely talents, potentials. Anything else? Yes? It's not necessary you can't change your profession. One, we don't want to change your profession, but you can. That is possible, but you don't want to. Okay, that's perfectly fair and fine. Hire. Nowadays, that is also possible. Hire someone with number knowledge. If you really need that number knowledge, hire the person with number knowledge. That person can do your numbering thing. You do the rest of the thing. That is also possible. Or else, certain type of skills can be developed to some extent, where it is helpful to you. To that extent, you develop that skill. So either you develop it or you hire it, because it's required in your profession. Then you do it. But that thing will not be you. So it's effort. But you do it. That's possible. No. They say left-handed people are more creative because you are developing the other side of your brain. That way they say, Have you heard about exercises called centering? No? It's very interesting. Another thing that we can do with kids. Oh, it's a lot of fun. I've done this a lot with kids, See, we are all, we use, most of us, right-handed. Some of you must be left-handed. And whenever you exercise the right side of your brain, the right side of your body, the left side of your brain is getting exercises. Have you understood that? Similarly, when you're using the left side of your this body, the right side is getting exercise. Since we are all right-handed, we are all the time constantly exercising the left side of the brain. So whatever you are doing, whatever you do, like brushing your teeth, normally you would do it like that, you do it this way. Once in a week, just do it this way. Everything that you do normally with your right hand, do it with the left hand. Supposing you hold your, brush this way and then you take the paste like that, then you hold your brush like that and you do it this way. You get it? Whatever you do, just do it the other. So what you're doing is you're giving exercises to the other part of your brain. It's very, very interesting. Mahatma Gandhi used to write equally comfortably with both the hands. Are you aware of that? He could write with the right and he practiced so that he could perfect that skill. A lot of people do that. It's called centering. Exercising the other part of the brain through this. We do it with kids a lot. You say once in a week, you're going to write down at least 1 or 2 pages with your what? Left hand. Do all these things. Exercises. These are all ways of developing kids, Lot of things can be done with kids. It's exciting. For them, it's all as a fun. For elders, it will become like, I have to do this, One more tension. Stress and all that, I'm really stressed out, now I have to write with my left hand. So, that one. There's a book called Centering also. You can check it on the net. I didn't want to give a very spiritual talk because, I thought every time everyone comes and gives, can talk about it, but there's another thing which is very, very important for manifesting divinity is developing virtues, values and virtues. That is very, very important. And for values and virtues, I would just simply say one thing is, a simple formula is be good, do good. No big lecture on anything, but just simple thing as what? Be good, do good. This one thing, if I can, to whatever extent I can, master it, all virtues will come. The more and more the values start, one is the two things. One is the number of values and the other is the depth of the value. You understand? I'll give example. Very interesting it is. By the way, values, each one of us have, our swabhava is different because of the value we have for the value. Shall I tell you something interesting? If you're interested. Yeah? Demand is there? Right. Very interesting. This is really interesting. Say one is the value for truth. I think I told you in the Uttarkashi camp, for those who came. I remember now having mentioned. One is the value for truth and the other is the value for ahimsa, non-injury. Right? Both are very, very important. Do you agree? Right? But whichever value you have a greater value for will make your personality the way it is. See, a person who is truthful will have value for non-injury. A person who has value for non-injury will have a what? Value for truthfulness. But someone will feel for them most important is truth. And someone will say the most important is what? Non-injury. And that is when you have two different type of personalities. Both good people, but two different. I will give an example. A person who has a value for non-injury, very strong, how does the world describe such a person? You will see that person is very, very often described as very loving person. What? What will everyone say about that person? What? Guruji is a classic example of that. His very strong value is for what? Non-injury, ahimsa. So he'll always take care of, kisi ko dukh na ho. His jokes also will be such that it should not hurt. Have you seen all these things in him? His ahimsa thing is very strong. Okay. Now someone else may have a value for truth. For them, that is the most important. Then what that person will, others will describe that person as very straightforward. How will they describe that man? Very straightforward. He's very straightforward. Actually, see, it is coming out. Are you understanding? It's not that the other person is speaking lies. But if that person, supposing, it may come that you might have to hurt the other person, that person who has a value for non-injury will even lie. Why? Because he doesn't want to hurt at all cost. Have you got it? Whereas the person who has a value for what? Truth. He says even if it hurts, he will say it hurts less in the long run if we speak the truth. So he will say, I can't speak untruth. Why? Because it may hurt less, so I will stick to the truth. Even if it hurts a little bit now, later on it will be good for the person, so I'm going to say the truth. Are you understanding the difference of this? It doesn't mean one over the other is bad or good. It's just that which is the value that you have a lot more value for. Can you now just close your eyes and think about the value that you have the most value for? I'm not just talking about truth and this. Think which is the value that you have most. Think this, of course, is, and that is what will decide your personality. That's what you are. I'm again telling you, that doesn't mean that the person who's non-injury will all the time talk untruth and all. But he will. Supposing someone says, someone brings a poetry and says, how is this poetry? It may be third class. But that person who values non-injury, what will he say? Bahut achhi hai, bahut achhi, good attempt. Have you understood? He doesn't want to hurt. Whereas the person who is a truthful person, what will he say? He will not be able to speak the word bahut achhi hai because he can't. He doesn't think it. So what will he say? I know, you've attempted and all that. I'm sure you can do better. Why? He's still not speaking that word. It's not, it's good. Have you understood that? He won't be able to say it, that it's good. Whereas the person who's non-injury will say it's good, even though he may not. Have you understood? Yes? So it all, what are your values which you have value on, for? That will decide the type of person you have become. Okay? One is the number of values we have to increase, and the other is the depth of the value in all its connotations and meaning. If any one of you have, I'm sure a lot of you have read the book of Mahatma Gandhi, autobiography, My Experiments with Truth. The connotations of truth that he talks about, the connotations of ahimsa that he talks about in that book. So he took these two values to its what? Depth. You understand? So the more and more you evolve spiritually or manifest divinity, the more deeper you go into these what? For example, Harishchandra, which was the value that he could not leave at all extent? Not truth. No, Satya Vrata. What was his one? Not Satya Vakya, but Satya Vrata. That's why he's called Satya Vrati Harishchandra. The name we give is Satya. Satya Vrata means what? If I have given my word, I will keep it. That's the thing. If I have said, I will do it. This is the value he had. And he did it. Oh my God, at what cost? Unbelievable. But he did it. Why? Because in all its depth, he didn't say, no, if it is said like that, only you must do it, not like that. And he didn't do all those things. He said, no. It's the way I understood it in this depth. Bhagirath, what was the value he had? What was it? Bhagirath's value, the value? Purushartha. Understand? At all extent, how much effort, Baba? Anyone would have given up, He said, no, Purushartha. This is my value. I will stick to it. So your personality becomes like that because of the value that you have. Okay? Just find out which are your values. Karo aap. Find out. Which is the thing that matters the most to you. And then look at others also. And find out which are the things that matter most to them. Then you will see the difference in the, what? Persons, their whole personality. Very different. Each one has different. That doesn't mean the other person is bad or good. Unfortunately, अपने जीवन में क्या होता है? If I have a value for truth, I say, देखो ये तो झूठ बोलता है. अरे पर उसका दूसरा value है, इसलिए वो ऐसा करता है. And he has a value for ahimsa which you don't have. What about that? But we always, even as far as our virtues are concerned and our vices, both things. I'll tell you how we are. Supposing I am the jealous type. I'm just saying supposing, I'm the jealous type. And you are the angry type, let's say. You want to change? I have no problem. You can be the angry, I'll be the... you can be the jealous, I'll be the angry. It makes no difference. I'm just giving as an example. Supposing I am the jealous type and you are the angry type. You know what I will say? I'll say, look, I may be jealous, but at least I'm not angry. And what will you say? बड़ी बड़ी बात करती है लेकिन jealousy कितनी है देखो. अरे but what about your anger? Anger है, but jealous तो नहीं हूं मैं. Have you understood what I'm saying? So we always, whichever one is our value or our which we मैं तो जैसा है मैं ऐसे ही बोलती हूँ मैं तो अरे but other person has their own thing now. Why do you have to make that small? Have you understood this? I may have so many other weaknesses, which why do you say that weakness is all right, but the other one is bad? Don't we do that all the time? Yes or no? Someone is very punctual, so they make a big thing out of it. I am punctual. एक second. अरे आप पंक्चुअल भले हो बट कितना झूठ बोलते हैं. That is you got it? It's good to be punctual, very nice, nothing wrong, it's a very good, great thing and all that, but don't make it into a, there are so many other things which I don't have. Okay? That's why I said understand what you are and understand what you are. The more you understand what you are, you're closer to your own true nature. Be what you are. Okay. Last, No, it's not your own. This you made your personality the way it is. Naturally, if it's inherent, it can't be from this life, right? It has to come from previous. What is inherent comes from previous life. What you made is from this life. What comes as inherent, supposing I can sing just well from my childhood, I didn't do it this life, right? So it has to have come from some other time. But what I do with it, I learned to sing, let's say. I couldn't sing, but I learned through practice, lot of this. So I don't become a master singer, I don't become a Lata Mangeshkar, but I possibly could. I can do that. Not everything, some of it. Some, inherent things are from past. Inherent things come from the past. Okay? Good. I'm happy. Let's sing the name of Lord for 2 minutes. Not that I'm a singer, I've not done any practice also, no inherent also, and no practice also. It's just Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. More energy. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayaः. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet. Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om. It just happens that this title that we had of this talk called Manifesting Divinity, which was a suggestion of Swamini Guru Priyananji, and happens to be Manifesting Divinity, Chinmaya Vision on Education. There's a book like that. So for those of you not aware of this book, please definitely take a copy of this book. It gives Gurudev's vision on culture and education. And it's really very, I can't say it's very good, but it's nice. I think so. It's really nice. So you definitely will get an insight into Gurudev's vision on education. A lot of very interesting things are given over there. There's another thing which I'd like to, this is, we're soon approaching Pujya Gurudev's birth centenary year. You're all aware of that. 2015-2016 is going to be Gurudev's birth centenary year. Very, very important year for the Chinmaya family. And as one of the things that is there is that, you have this Om lamp. You have these lamps over here in the front. We have these 3 lamps. If they can be, where are they? Yeah, they may not be able to see just this. Now, this is a very, very special lamp. It's what I call a 3-in-1. Nowadays, we want the maximum out of everything. Especially for spiritual seekers. You have 3 important things in life. One is God. The other is the Guru. And the third is the knowledge which will take you to, that the Guru gives, which will take you to God. And this lamp represents all 3. Om is God. You all know. Om represents what? God. And this is a special signature of Pujya Gurudev. So this represents what? Guru. And it's a lamp. Lamp represents what? Knowledge. So it's knowledge, Guru and God, all in one. So you can put it in your prayer room, and Pujya Guruji said that the slogan he gave us, Om in every home. Okay. So every home must have, whichever size. We've got 3 sizes like that. We've got a bigger size also, like this big. Maybe a mission center can have, or if someone wants it in their home also. Different sizes are there. So this information is available at the book counter. So for those of you who want to have this, or as a mission center, you all can get, with whatever these concessions are there. And, you can, everyone must have a what? Om lamp. Om in every home. And you all know, if you do something alone is one thing, and you do all together, it has a different effect altogether. The whole dynamics changes. And it's Pujya Guruji has desired that everyone will light the lamp on particular days. One is the 8th of May, which is Pujya Gurudev's Jayanti day. Then 3rd of August, which was his Samadhi day, and Guru Purnima. So special occasions like that, the whole Chinmay family will be what? lighting this at the same time. So you can imagine the cumulative effect of this, the whole world over. So please definitely take this. Two important programs which I would like to announce. One, which is a very, very satisfying and a very successful program. We've had this 6 weeks of Dharma Seva course. And I say that because I know it's been successful. We have Somji and Chinaji over here, right here, who've attended, and many, many others who have attended as well. Yes, he's also one of them who's attended. We've got lots of people like that who've attended these courses, and it's been life transforming for many, many people. But we are a little particular. We do not take people above 65 years of age. You have to be a special exception. Then we take, if you otherwise we don't. And everyone starts thinking, because of the name Dharma Sevak, so, it's all for elders only. It's not like that. The youngest person who's attended our course has been a 13-year-old. A 13-year-old girl. And her father said, I don't mind if she misses 2 weeks of school, but you must attend because this is going to change your life. So that much of commitment was there. We've had 17-year-olds and 20 and 30 and all different age groups we've had. And what we find in this course, especially very, very, it's a long time. So what we really, this is that you can live a spiritual lifestyle. Because many times people feel we can't. The lifestyle is something which we actually sell through this course. We can live it. We can actually live a lifestyle like that. Because otherwise we feel कि नहीं जगत में हम जीवन में नहीं कर सकते हैं and all that. It is true that spiritual camps have a very great force and we can do, but at the end of the day, a spiritual camp is for 7 days. So first 3 days you are trying to get into that. Last 2 days you're already out of it. So remaining what? 2 days, 1 day is when you're actually in it. Because you're still withdrawing. It is, your mind just can't bring you all of a sudden, and it doesn't go like that. And you all know the second last day, by that time your mind is already at home cooking or whatever, it's all gone, over, finished. So this gives you a chance where you actually, I'm telling you, it takes almost 2 weeks to just come into the whole thing. When you're completely there, then you're not thinking of anything else. And then the last week already your mind has started going out, but then you get a solid period of time when you are with that whole, thought, day and night, morning and night. That's very, very important. So we have the 6 weeks of Dharma Seva course, and you still insist, no, I can't do, then as Guruji puts it like that, then you have a 6 days course. From 6 weeks now to 6 days, we have a meditation course. I've been doing this again very successfully. We've had 3 such camps, meditation demystified. Because there's a lot of this about meditation, what do you call it? All sorts of things happen in the name of meditation actually nowadays, You have dancing meditation, you have meditation has become a style, isn't it true? You have meditation music, you have meditation fragrance, you have meditation designer clothes. As though that's going to help you what? Meditate better. So, anyway, so we have a course happening in Coimbatore, 6 days of that, and don't say it's very far. Nowadays, people go anywhere, and it's just 3 hours from here to fly down to Coimbatore. So all of you can definitely come for that. Okay, thank you very much. Hari Om, Namaskar to everyone. Hari Om. Today was just informal. Actually, I wasn't talking very formally also.